the original Season 2, Episode 14, I Love You, Goodbye. Now, when I first started watching this episode, I think really just the whole first half, when I was watching, I was like, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do my review and exactly what to say, because really, even including the second half, this episode was really like just sheer respite for everyone. It was like there wasn't some incredible deadly threat either to a character specifically or a younger character, specifically Hope, that was obviously connected to pretty much everyone else that caused a bunch of danger. There was none of that. It was, we got the wedding, and the entire episode really focused on that. There were a couple of bits and pieces in the beginning where it was like this relationship might be in trouble or something like that, but it was little things that all kind of worked out in the end. Even the stuff with Klaus seemingly went well. Like, it's always impossible to know with him, and based on the preview, it's just Klaus stuff, so it's never really good. It's good for him, and it's good for Hope, so it's kind of a good thing, but, even when Klaus does something good, much like in this episode, it's bad, because he'll do something like just decapitate a bunch of people. So, it's kind of iffy to choose. Whenever Klaus does anything, if it's supposed to be good, it's hard to choose. When it's bad, it's easy to see, but when he does something good, it's a little difficult. So we have the first half of the episode, but I thought it was good. It was definitely good. I mean, it was cool to see the characters actually have all this time to just relax, and they were able to just enjoy something that would bring a lot of hope to all the characters within the show. And it was like the wolf packs are now united. Everyone has Haley's power. As far as the relationship goes, there was, a legitimate reason for fear, as having all the werewolves being able to change and activate their wolf power, which would allow them to fight against all vampires, which we saw like a tiny little glimpse of with Marcel when they officially got married. And he looked, and the look on his face wasn't exactly like happy and stuff. Like, Josh was fine because he's obviously with the guy, so it's like they're able to, they were kind of able to move past Josh possibly having a target on his back now, especially now that the werewolves have a viable mean to fight. But for Marcel, it was just like, I don't know. Like, I'm not in love with any of the werewolves. I'm definitely not a hybrid, so he's in a pretty serious position right now where if anything goes down, he can be taken out unless he gets to like Klaus's blood or something. So it was interesting. It'll be cool to see how that plays out throughout the rest of the series, and also how long this truce really does last, especially with some of the stuff Klaus is trying to do, where it's like all he really wants to do is obviously take over the werewolves. But if he just kind of let things be kind of how they are, if he let things be good, everything would be fine. Like, people would keep the secret, based on what was said at the end of the episode, that other people knowing the secret isn't what's gonna let Dahlia find Hope, which is what I thought was gonna happen with them learning this secret, and it was revealed to way more people. It wasn't just like, here's our tight-knit group of people. It's to everyone. I thought that's kind of how it would spread, but it's just the magic in general calls Dahlia in. So it was kind of cool that that's what would kind of be the fallback, or I should say downfall, really. And it wasn't just going to be Klaus trying to say like, hey, this is our daughter, protect her, and then all these people know. So I thought that was fairly interesting. It's solely based on magic. It doesn't matter how many people do know or don't know. It's actually the magic itself that's going to bring Dahlia in. So that was actually pretty cool to learn by the end of this episode. And then, like I said, everything else that happened in pretty much the entire first half was definitely just nice and calm. And there were issues, mostly Klaus being Klaus. But everything seemed like it worked out well. It was a nice little wedding and all that stuff. And then there were a couple of little scenes, and those mostly led to the second portion of the episode, which was unfortunately losing Cole, which I thought was, it seemed like it was inevitable. I didn't actually expect him to make it. I hoped he did, because I actually did like his character, even when he was kind of a bad guy. I kind of liked this character and stuff. They kept his character as the same person, like different actor, but obviously it was still Cole. He still was really sarcastic and all that stuff, and that's kind of why I always liked him, because he was always the one who in like the super serious moments, he was the one who made it really funny, and that's why it was fun to always watch Cole, because everyone else is just like, you know, Victorian drama and stuff. So it was always fun to have Cole in there where he plays the jokes or he messes around with everyone and he kind of pisses people off by making some of these jokes and gets himself hurt a little bit. That's what made his character, you know, fun for the show. He was like the comedic relief, despite how serious some of the stuff was that he was doing as well. So, you know, kind of the second half and them, everyone kind of being around him too, I thought was pretty cool. And, you know, having his family around and having Davina there since they did have a relationship, I thought it was very fitting. And it was, you know, very dramatic. It was very well done, I think, and them being in the graveyard, and especially the stuff they had with Rebecca where she mentioned with him dying as a witch, they could consecrate his body and his spirit would basically go on to exist with the ancestors, which could be resurrected. So it was a really nice concept. I don't think if they bring him back, unfortunately, it wouldn't be the same actor. It would be like another person all over again. So if that does happen, that would kind of suck. But knowing that Cole can come back in a future season is at least nice. It's nice to have that possibility for his character to come back. Because like I said, I personally enjoyed him, despite some of the dicky things that he did, you know, throughout the series. As well as, you know, some of the crap he did in, like, the Vampire Diaries. But it was still enjoyable having his character throughout the series. And having him, you know, come back in a different body and stuff like that. And seeing him go is definitely going to have an impact on the rest of the Michelson family. It might have an impact on some of the other characters. Like, I'm actually really curious to see what Marcel might say about it, because they didn't have the best relationship, but they at least somewhat bonded in the episode when they were all kind of trapped inside the compound, and Marcel was fighting against the urge to feed, and he was even protecting Cole from everyone else who was trying to feed. So they had at least some sort of bonding moment. So I'm really curious to see what some of the other characters who weren't exactly close to him, but at least experienced some of the good things he did. Like Josh, you know, was obviously saved by him and Davina. So, you know, just some of the ideas and thoughts that some of the other characters might have. I actually want to know what they think, because it really changes depending on who you are. Like I said, with Marcel, he knew him in his original body and what he was really like before, and we've seen that episode where they really talk about their relationship in the past and how much Cole really seemed to hate Marcel. And then, you know, we got some of the present day stuff. So I'd love to see what some of those characters have to say. I'm sure they won't devote an entire episode to them remembering Cole and stuff like that, so it'll be like sort of a small storyline in the next episode or something like that. But I still want to know what the other characters are going to think. And like I said, I think it was very well done. And, you know, that his sort of death ended with the resurrection of Finn. And we saw that happening in the beginning of this episode where he was being brought back. And, you know, he didn't jump bodies. He was officially just brought back to life. And, you know, he's still out there. He's out there. He's working with Freya. And they're going to be teaming up to try to basically take down Hope, which might be much easier than Klaus and everyone else might think, because despite, you know, the wolves being able to turn and all that, no one can really do anything to the witches if they know they're coming at them. The witches can just, you know, I can put up my finger and then everyone has like an aneurysm or something crazy. So with people knowing where Hope is, and with, you know, everyone staying in the compound, it could be much more dangerous than anyone expects. And obviously they don't know that Finn is going to be coming back. And I don't know, I don't think they really have any actual clue what to expect from Freya just yet. So, you know, things are going to be crazy for sure. And then we still have to wait and see when Dahlia is going to come into play, and whether it's, you know, with a couple episodes left this season, maybe in the season finale. I'm still, you know, if I had to guess or bet on it, I would still say they're going to save her for, like, the very last episode this season, if not the episode before, and then she'll have some big power play in the final episode, but it won't be, like, obviously a complete, you know, disaster for all the characters. But I still think they're going to save her for officially, like, the season finale. It's like, here's, you know, basically all of season 4, here's your villain, and then wherever the heck their parents are right now, because I don't know if they were still trapped, under the spell because all the vampires were let free. So I figured that meant their father and mother were set free as well, but I don't really know yet. We'll have to wait and see. And maybe Freya went and she found them and she knew that, Finn's gonna basically get destroyed. I'm gonna do another spell and keep them under while I go resurrect him or something. But we have to wait for all that stuff. Love the episode. Definitely, polar opposites on halves. Like, here's the really happy, pseudo sappy. I wouldn't call it sappy. Like, even with the entire wedding, I think everything for this show was definitely grounded. It wasn't like no one seemed like they were too happy or over the top. It was just like, this is nice. Especially, like, I think the happiest everyone got really was when they officially kissed and all the werewolves got the powers. And even then, there were like sprinkles of people. Like, Elijah wasn't 100% happy, which fairly obvious. Like, we kind of all knew that was going to happen. Like I said, Marcel not 100% happy either, but it was still kind of polar opposites. I mean, it obviously started on a happy note and then it ends on sort of a crushing note where they were trying to save Cole, or at least Rebecca and Davina were the entire episode, and there was just nothing they could do. And, that was pretty much it. Like, he's gone. He did work with Davina to work on the dagger to take down Klaus without killing off his entire lineage. So, I'm not sure when that'll come into effect, when Davina will decide this is the time to use it now, but if it did work, because they technically don't know, they assume they kind of assume that the magic worked, but they don't know for sure. But now that's kind of been in there. It's like they officially have that, or they think they do. So we're going to get that in the future episode as well. But I'm definitely excited for, everything that's going to be happening. This was a huge change. It was just like the start of it, but with this army and obviously Klaus trying to take over the army at some point, and it's Klaus, so who knows how that's going to work out and what he's going to try to do. But with this officially happening now, the wedding has come and gone, things are really going to be different. So I'm excited to see. Of course, I want to know what you guys think, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts about this episode. And what do you guys think is going to happen with, like, just Freya and Finn? Like, what are they going to do to either help Dahlia or take out Hope themselves? Because I don't know, considering what Freya said when she kind of left Dahlia, I doubt she'll help her out, so I have to assume she'll kind of be like working with Finn from now on. They'll be like this faction on their own, and then Dahlia will be like, a third faction. But like I said, I don't think she'll come in until the season finale anyway, so really what's going to happen with Freya and Finn, and how are they going to attack the rest of the family? Because they're obviously just both really pissed off at everybody, so they're going to do it for sure. Lots of magic, of course, and seemingly an endless supply if they do still have their parents kind of tapped as power reserves. But I don't know what you guys think, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.